What's the most WTF moment you've ever had at a party? The host got so drunk. He pulled his dead pet lizard out of the freezer, saving it to bury it in the spring, and showed it to everyone in the room. Then he started crying, threw up, pissed himself, and passed out. I have no idea if the lizard ever made it back to the freezer. New Year's party at a farmhouse. This guy the first know has taken LSD. He found a top hat and cape somewhere and was wearing them. He is having a bad trip and is just spiraling into a depression and fixating on death while being freaked out on his trip. So I take him outside to get him away from all the smoking and noisy drunks in the house. We step out on the dark porch and for a minute he seems to be getting right when suddenly about 10 cows run by the porch. His eyes go wide and he runs away. The drunks in the party yell, "The cows are out," and they all start chasing the cows trying to round them up, but the cows are now smarter than the drunk people, so they were not doing a good job of it. And I never saw that guy again. I found the cape and top hat laying on the floor like he just vanished and they fell straight down. A girl took my pillow without my knowledge and then proceeded to throw up all over it. She said she would get me a new one. Allison, it's been 3 years. Please give me a new pillow, sad face. I saw 2 guys jerking it while the girl they were with was in front of them eating fries. She didn't seem interested. She was just eating. I went to a bowling alley in grade 4 because that was the first birthday party I had been ever invited to. I was really excited because he was one of the popular kids. Come to the day that it was happening. I decided to wear a nice pink glittery shirt because glitter was really important in my life for some odd reason. I got to the bowling alley with the bag and when I went to give it to him I farted really loud out of excitement. Everyone looked over at me and I immediately burst into tears. He told me it was okay and then proceeded to fart maybe 3 minutes after I did. That really comforted me and we had a good time. Not really a party. A sleepover a few years back. I was probably 14 or 15. Some of the girls thought it would be fun to do some prank calls on various people. And we got a kick out of it for a while. Everything was going fine. We were all having fun and laughing. Then, one of the girls rings up a lady. I'm not sure if the girl knew this woman or not. But when she answers we did the classic, "Hello, this is Wendy's," or something along the lines of that. Then, get this. The lady starts naming every girl at the sleepover. We were all freaked out and I don't think I've seen anyone hang up the phone faster. It was truly terrifying. Was standing in a circle with 4 other people smoking some weed and talking. Girl comes up super drunk, all happy and smiling. Everything is all good and suddenly out of nowhere she drops her pants, squats down and pees right in front of all of us. Like legit still talking and looking right at us. Caught a guy sucking a banana in the bathroom. I was at a friend's birthday party and him and a group of maybe 5 to 10 kids were there. We put on Shrek and I was on a recliner watching it. Meanwhile these other kids were messing around. One of them took their shirt off and said, "Who wants to join the no shirt gang?" Everyone but me and this other kid took their shirt off. Then, the crazy one said, "No pants gang?" They took their pants off. Fast forward a bit and we had like 8 naked kids running around screaming naked gang while me and this kid say they're like, WTF. Me and this kid who didn't strip are actually really good friends today. Passed out. Woke up with drawings on my face. And needing to hurl. I stood up from emptying the party tank. Saw the reflection in the mirror. Fell backwards into the bathtub. Cracked my head open. Passed back out. One of the guys who lived at the house was kicking some extra obnoxious people out when all of a sudden one guy pulled a knife and swung at the host. It hit the guy in his cheekbone and went down. Thank goodness it didn't go into his eye. Still. Huge gash. Tons of blood. Cops came and found the guy later that night. I woke up being used as a pillow and threesome. We had a bonfire going. I left early once the shine came out. About an hour after I left, some of the guys started spitting mouthfuls of the stuff through the fire to make fireballs. Caught some of the grass on fire. Tried to put it out by peeing on it. And ended up starting a 200-acre fire. In the same street as our party. There was another party where someone flashed a laser into a helicopter flying over, illegal. Police arrive at our party to find who has the illegal laser. I go into the house to hide the bong and weed, also illegal, and there's 5 or 6 people doing lines of cocaine. The backyard is full of cops, I think 5 or 6, and we're shitting ourselves thinking the police will come inside and catch us with all the drugs. The people at the other party flash their laser into the sky again and all the cops run off to catch the laser person. Dude was drunk. And on ecstasy as well as acid. Completely fucked. For some reason a couple of his fingers ended up in his mouth while he had a seizure and the whole garage watched him deglove his own finger with his teeth. It was my 16th birthday and my crappy friend invited some guys who were known to be assholes. She had a huge crush on one of the guys and was hoping to make a move on him. The assholes show up and as per their name, acted like assholes. My parents decided to cut my birthday party short and kick everyone out. One guy named Nick was pissed that the party got cut short, so he whipped his dick out and peed all over my birthday cake. Cake was ruined and I spent my 16th in tears. My crappy friend, we are not friends anymore, was mad that my parents cut the party short. Well, actually she was mad that the guy she was chasing has zero interest in her, so she decided to give me the wonderful nickname of Sweet 16 Pisshead. That Nick guy has been in and out of jail. Kids with multiple women and can't keep his shit together. So in the long run, I have done a lot better than him. Hosted a party in high school. Girl and a guy spent a bit of time in the bathroom. Not a huge deal. Went to use the bathroom and wash my hands after. The hand towel had a white-ish, gooey, sticky substance on it. Took a closer look and it was covered. Like a disgusting amount. The back side of the towel was completely soaked. I didn't know a human could produce that much. I stepped out and a buddy saw my face and began laughing his ass off. He knew exactly what I had found and laughed harder when he saw how much. He then informed me that the couple in there before accidentally broken one of the soap dispensers and used the towel to clean up the liquid soap. The liquid soap happened to be a near identical color to another substance that I had confused it for. I don't think I've ever felt so relieved in my life. We were looking for this girl that had kinda disappeared when my buddy, hosting, noticed his brother was also missing and responded with "Fuck not again, help me break this door down." Apparently his brother, 14, was known for taking the really drunk chicks into his room and trying to do shit with them. Best story I have is my best friend invited me to go with him to this fall party. It was early November and it was one of those days where it was warm through the day, the freezing as fuck at night. Anyways, it started outside with us drinking and playing cornhole and horseshoes. Well, the neighbor's dog came over and I entertained it. The neighbor came over looking for the dog. Well, I knew the guy. Had for years. Anyways, knowing who I was, he was okay leaving Toby with me. Anyways, end up drunk as skunks. We drive back to my place where we crash, sleep not wreck the car, and I wake up the next morning with Toby in bed with me. So had to sober up with some breakfast, lots of toast, eggs, and bacon, and take Toby back. I told the guy what had happened. He told me he was just glad Toby didn't run off and told me I can come take Toby whenever I want. So we made it a habit to go whenever the girl threw a party. So I could go get Toby and he always came home with me and went back the next day. I walked in on my boyfriend having sex with my dad at my family's annual 4th of July party. I was at the 16th birthday of the dude who was later turned into the scumbag Steve meme. His parents spared no expense. He had a DJ in his basement with all kinds of lights set up. Still, he was spoiled and not having a good time. So his mom announced to the whole room, "My son's not having fun. Someone give him a blowjob." There were a lot of girls their ages 12 to 17 and it was super gross. So, these drunks were bonding and somehow they decided that dude has a wart on his elbow that needed to be removed. Stat. In a manner consistent with world-class surgeons, they numbed the area with an ice cube from the half-melted tray on the counter. The next step was to carefully and delicately use wire cutters to slice off the offending growth. The wart came off easily with a roar from our dear drunk patient and then a scream as he saw the absolutely ridiculous amount of blood gushing from the surgical site. They scrambled with towels and strategies. Surgeon Steve ended up slipping in the blood. Before it was over with. The kitchen looked like a damn murder scene and I'm pretty sure I almost died laughing. Someone took their Nissan Pathfinder straight through the wall. Nothing else to it. Just drove right through the wall. A Halloween party that went down in infamy among our crowd. We were still in high school and it was an out-of-control party. There were a few incidents but nothing serious until the father of the host caught one of our friends drinking from his personal stash. He chased the kid outside where the kid jumped a fence and vanished into the wilderness. My friend who hosted the party went looking for him. Ended up at another party where he pissed off the host, a mutual friend of all of us, but his crowd was the jocks. We were the outcasts, and got his ass beat. Then everyone from both parties gathered in the street figuring out what happened when my friend's dad came charging through the crowd and proceeded to lay another ass whipping on the poor guy. So they brawl. Cops show up. We get my friend home. His dad stays back to talk to the police. And then my friend's mom, a crazy alcoholic who was on fine form that night, flipped out and stabbed him in the side. I ended up being the only person who stuck around through the aftermath. Friend ended up in the hospital. Parents paid hush-hush money, foreign country. Lots of corruption, and not much came out of it. I was at a frat party. They had beer pong in the basement. I saw this kid turn around and just vomit all over the floor. When he was finished he looked at his friends and realized they hadn't seen, so he just acted like it didn't happen. It was kinda dark and spilled beer was everywhere, so not immediately noticeable. Some other guy comes over and is like, "Hey, who threw up all over the floor?" And the guy who did was like, "Gross, wasn't us." I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who saw what happened. Everyone but a couple people got super drunk. The guys got in a punch each other in the nuts contest and the girls started shooting fireworks at each other. When I was in high school we used to throw bonfire parties out in the mountains. One night we were at a party where a fairly new girl in school, we can call her Carly, came to the party with some of her friends. Carly was not the brightest person that I have ever met. So we are hanging around the bonfire, having some beers, chatting it up, and listening to music. Suddenly Carly walks a few feet away and still in the sight of everyone when she suddenly drops her pants, squats down and proceeds to take one of the biggest shits that we have seen in our lives. She didn't go into the woods. Just did it right there by the fire. Some of us were speechless and some of us were laughing hysterically. I was a little of both. She didn't wipe either. Just pulled up her pants and rejoined the party. Definitely a WTF moment. This guy was caught in the daughter's bedroom of the hosts jerking off into her underwear. What made it worse was that the daughter, who luckily was away, wasn't more than 6 years old. He was slapped around a bit and then the cops came and took him away. 2 crust punks locked themselves in the bathroom during a rager and took a disgusting bubble bath and got truly offended when we told them to GTFO. 2 friends went in a room to, well, you know. Then we heard loud male screams. We knocked, asked if they were fine. The screams continued. We entered. There was poop all over the bed. My friend later told us that they wanted to practice anal. She wasn't prepared. 2001. A chick pulled her granny panties up into her butt crack like a thong, after taking off her denim skirt, and danced sexy for everyone. We were separated by sliding glass doors. She was outside, by the moldy pool, and we were inside in the completely dark kitchen. They used black lights to hide the cockroaches. We couldn't hear whatever music it was she was dancing to, but by her dance moves I'm guessing Thriller. I was sober BTW. I also left a cousin at the same party. He wanted to stay and he did. For 6 months. That place, those people and their parties provided a treasure trove of pretty cringe-worthy memories for me. But it was pretty fucking fun at the time. Went to a party in the hills where the host proceeded to do a welcome shot with literally everyone who showed up. Party had approximately 50 people. By shot 9 or 10 she was gone. Her boyfriend walked around the party for the next hour or so. Beer in one hand, her hair in the other as she carried around a bucket and puked spontaneously in the middle of conversations. How about them Lakers? Yeah man, Kobe's last year has been fun. Barf. Really trying to score some tickets to the last game. If you have a hookup I'd really appreciate it. Yeah man, no problem. Text me tomorrow and I'll ask around. Truly one of the strangest parties I've ever been to. Ended up having a lot of fun tbh lol. When a random guy the first don't know and never even talked to climbed into my bed while I was unconscious and then I woke up at like 5 a.m. to him trying to cuddle. Threw an after-hours birthday party for a friend. Everyone from the bar was there. Wall-to-wall people. I was drunk and thought I was seeing things. A baby and I mean at least 2 months old crowd surfing. I never sobered up so fast in my life. Someone almost dropped her and held her dangling by her arm, and I grabbed her and rushed her out of the crowd. Mom left her in her car seat by the door and went to smoke weed in the back room. At 3 a.m. I really don't know how long the baby was manhandled, but she just fell asleep in my arms. She was so tired. We just shut it all down. Made everyone go home. It was appalling. It was a farewell party for an exchange student. Where I live is quite rural, so where we all were was a farm of one of my best friends in high school. His dad was a very handy farmer and one year put together a trebuchet in one of the paddocks. It truly is an awesome thing and we launched so much stuff with it, but our favorite by far was balls filled with methylated spirits lit on fire. They would be launched and cause a small explosion. As we got to about the third ball being launched, we noticed Miles, the exchange student, had disappeared. Then when the ball hit the ground, we saw this little sneaky Frenchman tried to catch a fucking fireball and it blew up in his face. 200 meters and over 2 fences we sprinted to put him out, and luckily he was unharmed besides some singed hairs and lost eyebrows. All good times. My friends were moving out of a rental house and threw one last party. 3 WFT moments. The guy held a contest to see who could pee the highest up the bathroom wall. The last time I saw him come out, his shirt was wet. He apparently tried to go too high. The guy had us help him flip over his car in the driveway. After we flipped it, the cop showed up and asked us to flip it back over and keep the noise down. The chandelier in the living room was pulled out of the ceiling because everyone was swinging from it. It was a party that I'll never forget. And I doubt that he got his security deposit back after what we did to that place. In high school, a girl took a bite out of a fresh human shit for $100. Someone was going to pay her $100 not to eat it, but she decided against that route. There is a picture. At a college party, an almost 40-year-old snogging the emotionally unstable 18-year-old freshman. That guy was creepy. Picture a guy with poor hygiene. A BMI of 52. Lived in a travel trailer with another creepy guy. And earned less than minimum wage under the counter at a dollar store. He apparently tried his moves on all of the young ladies. I found out eventually that there was statutory diddly that went on, but it was just a rumor. A rumor that was probably true. Right before a party, a friend of mine went to a phone store that was doing a liquidation sale and got a Nokia. But it was one of those display, demo phones that you can't do much with. So one of our party activities was to see who could shatter the Nokia. We unsurprisingly couldn't put a dent in it. Turns out it was an orgy, so I was kinda confused why they started doing it on the floor. I once went to get my shoes at the end of the night and found that one of the inner soles was gone. Never did find out what happened to it. The guys were having a contest to see who could make the biggest hole in the wall with their heads. It was an apartment. Holes everywhere. In college, my friends and I decided to throw a party in some woods right off of campus in a wooded area. We had partied before on the edge of where the college ROTC did some training. We ended up having our core group of 10 or so people and maybe another 15 or 20 through the night around the bonfire, and all night I couldn't shake a weird feeling of being watched, and it was weirding me out to no end. I kept mentioning it to my friends and they kept saying I was just being anxious, which wasn't uncharacteristic for me. Eventually I just couldn't take it anymore, and me and the only other person who felt something was off decided to head back to campus. For whatever reason I decided I didn't want to take the normal path and went way off the path and cut through some fields using the moonlight to guide us. When I finally got back to the apartment, I was just hanging out when I happened to look out the window and saw almost a dozen police cars sitting behind some trees next to the road near the path going up to where my friends were partying. I used the apartment phone to repeatedly try calling the only cell phone at the party, but no one answered. Everyone there ended up getting charged in some manner, some for providing alcohol to minors since some of them were a year shy of legal age. The hostess had invited a man she was having an affair with. Her husband was clueless and was out back playing grillmaster and was completely preoccupied. I guess she thought she was safe. At some point, another man the hostess was having an affair with showed up to kick the ass of the other man. The hostess had a nervous breakdown and locked herself in the bathroom in hysterics. Her husband kicked the 2 fighting guys out of the party, never knowing what they were fighting about. He thought his wife lost her shit because 2 random guys started fighting at their party. I didn't know what was going on until a friend of mine clued me in while it was all happening. Ex-friend who was literally obsessed with me and cut me off cause he liked me too much ambushed me while I was vomiting in the bathroom and decided now was the best time to talk about our relationship. Then he asked to kiss me less than a minute after I vomited, which I said yes cause I was drunk, I'll kiss anyone when I'm drunk, and then the next day he was confused why I didn't like him, saying shit like, your real feelings came out. That wasn't just a kiss, that was different, made me so uncomfortable. I knew I didn't like him, but he was making me second guess myself by manipulating me with his words. My other friend was like, I woke up the next day and there was just a plate of rice next to my toilet, WTF. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. If you would like to see more content like this in the future, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about future videos. Now check out one of these interesting videos.